Monday. It is a Monday in spring in Georgia, and I am so excited. Do you know what it means? It is spring.
Looks like it, but don't feel like it.
It is spring. We went to Middle Georgia this weekend, and y'all don't know it, but everything about 180 miles south of us is blooming. Now, Bill, if you were in that area, you'd have been at work 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably so. We're running about 2 weeks behind this year up here.
It was beautiful. Everything was blooming. The grass was so green. The pastures were so beautiful. And then yesterday, we came back to Fannin County and took the most amazing ride. And I now know who this wonderful star in bluegrass music, I know where Barry Abernathy lives. We passed right by his house. We went on this, it was kind of a Greyhound bus tour, but you could not take a bus where we went. We went over the river, through the woods to Grandma's house, and we went back dirt roads, ended up on, oh my gosh, it was a creek road. Anyway, ended up on Aska Road. And do you know what I said about Aska Road today? If y'all have ever wanted to go to Alaska and you thought, well, I can't afford the trip, go to Aska Road today and drive down by the river and glance over to your right, and you will go, my goodness, this looks like the route going to Denali. It was absolutely beautiful. For you folks who live on Aska Road, you got it made. It is gorgeous up there.
You know what a guy named Al is on Aska Road?
Alaska.
Alaska, yeah.
Oh, he's so funny. I knew he'd get me. Today we have no guest because today I have gone retro. I looked back exactly 1 year. Yeah, I got on old clothes, yeah. I looked back exactly 1 year, and I realized that exactly 1 year ago today, Hans Rufert was in the hospital. He was facing so much. We had no idea the young man would come back to us. We had no idea he would successfully. Right now, just got a report this weekend. Everything is cool. No cancer. Everything's good. He looks great. We did have the service for his dad yesterday, and thank you to every single person who came. It was packed. Upstairs, downstairs, inside out, everywhere. The parking places were full. The seats were full. The balcony was full. It was an amazing turnout to a great man, Joe Rufert. Now, I didn't type up my little speech until 12 noon yesterday because I kept saying, I can get through this. I've got it all in my head. I can do it. I do television with no teleprompters. I never use notes. And when I do the seminars, I can go for an hour and a half and don't need anything to tell me what to say. But emotions took over.
Oh, I'm sure.
Emotions took over. I'd get about a third of the way through it and I would fall apart.
Well, he was a friend of yours.
I'd get a third of the way through it, I'd fall apart. And by the time you pull the eye makeup about 5 times, I said, look, Hans, baby, I've got to type this thing up and I've got to read it. If I'm focused on reading it, I can get through it without falling apart.
It's still tough.
I could not do it without writing it down because I'd get about a third of the way and I'd think of something else funny he did and it would get my mind thinking. Imagine my mind thinking, hush now.
Didn't say it. Didn't say it.
Now, I wore blue today in honor of your beautiful blue eyes, and you wore that on a nasty brown shirt. I don't like brown.
Well,
brown is not my color. Do you know today I'm taking a bunch of my clothes up to the ladies at Harbor Ministries?
You mean
several
give you this?
things
I'll
are
just
brown.
give you this
no,
and you can take it too.
Several things are brown because it just doesn't work for me.
Well, I wore it in honor of you because I knew you didn't like brown, so I figured you wouldn't match with me today anyway.
I'm the sweet one. He's the mean one. I wear blue in honor of his beautiful blue eyes, and he wears the disgusting old brown colors.
Well, I was going to, well, never mind.
Today is going to be a good day. We chose some programs. One of them I didn't even tell Adam about, and if we have time, we'll go to it at the very, very end. It has the Kaylors, as they sang here a year ago. I just looked back, and when I realized this year, do you know that a year ago, this week, this day, we did not know that Angela had cancer.
Right.
We had Dr. Vince on shortly a year ago. We had no idea. He was talking about the very cancer she was diagnosed with. We didn't know any of that. I was still doing shows with bandages on my face because I was dealing with cancer. And I've gotten my biopsy reports back, but that computer keeps calling me. And the computer keeps telling me to call and put in this number, this code. I don't know the code. So today, I'm going to call the doctor's office and say, would you please just read me my biopsy
You want the
reports.
personal touch.
I don't want a computer to say, oh, well, Miss Martin, congratulations, this one's cancer too. So I don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that.
Congratulations.
So, well,
that wouldn't
you
be
know,
the right
that's
word.
what the last time they said, well, you're 6 for 6. They've all been positive. And I said, thank you. So, but today we're going to focus on what happened to us a year ago. What happened to us a year ago, our friend Hans was facing some serious health issues. We weren't sure he'd make it. And today he is now the new owner of the Woodbridge Inn. And I'm going to encourage you once again, go have bananas Foster. If you're doing Jenny Craig, if you're doing Nutrisystem, if you're doing all that, throw it away for one day, one lunch, Wednesday. Go have a really good lunch and then end it with bananas Foster.
That's all you can eat all day.
That's all you can have all day.
Hey,
that's all the points you can have for a lifetime, but it's so good.
Speaking of anniversaries, and this is probably a little sore spot in your memory, but what's today, the 29th?
I guess.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it is.
we're talking anniversaries
Yeah.
here. 2 days ago would be the 27th. 16 years ago, on the 27th, we had one of the worst tornado outbreaks in Pickens County history.
Guess whose business got wiped out?
You remember that?
Oh, do I remember it? Yeah. Do you remember pulling
16
up?
years.
And this building that was 150 feet long and 100 feet wide was gone. G-O-N-E, gone. And you know, I almost brought the newspaper showing that, but it's so faded. But literally,
Palm Sunday.
yeah, we got hit 3 places. My business on Highway 515 got hit first. And you know, and I will say this about her. I loved Aunt Jeanette, loved her. She was a sweetheart. But she called us on the phone, and I had just gotten off the phone with my brother, and I said, you know, I've been watching the weather, and I said, they're saying tornadoes are coming in your area. Well, your area to him, my business was in his area, and I said, you better get to the basement. And he just laughed, and he said, oh, if you're living right, nothing will happen, yada, yada, yada. I said, big boy, you better get to the basement. Tornadoes are fixing to hit. Hit my house, hit my building and my warehouse, destroyed his house, did like $70-something thousand worth of damage to his house, totally killed his next door neighbor. I mean, literally, and for hours we couldn't get down to his place. It was a devastating day that started about 2 in the afternoon, and when the Aunt Jeanette called and said, we've got tornado warnings, she had heard sirens going off or heard it on her scanner, I think.
And so if anybody would say, if you're living right, nothing will happen to you, they haven't read the book of Job.
No.
He was living right.
Well, I think he was just teasing. But anyway, it was a day that devastated Jasper, Georgia. And when I pulled up, and Cagle Funeral Home had 9 names on the marquee.
Yeah.
I mean, not on the marquee. They couldn't fit that many. They had it full, but they had the hearse lined up. They borrowed hearse from other funeral homes.
Yeah.
It was a terrible day.
And there were other counties hit hard that day. Gordon County, and then, of course, over on the west side of the state, and then, of course, over at Piedmont, Alabama.
Well, I was going to say, in Alabama, people were in church.
Right.
Weren't there about 9 people killed in that one church?
I don't remember how many, but there were
11?
some killed. The whole ceiling
Yeah.
fell in. But that was a rough day. I remember that day.
It was a very hard day.
And then we had some rough weather yesterday. There's some folks up north.
Hail.
Dalton, Murray County.
Yes.
Yeah, they had tornadoes.
Oh, Epworth had yards full of hail yesterday. So, and it's funny, when we were going up our little trip up Aska Road and we were pretending we were in Alaska, seemed like Alaska to me. All of a sudden, you know, I get a phone call and I'm on the phone with Christy Lindstrom, and she says, you know, my mom's yard is full of hail. And I said, well, that's interesting. It looks like Alaska here on Aska Road. So it was kind of weird. But,
well, with this El Nino pattern we're in, the forecasters are saying probably by mid-April we're going to start seeing some severe weather, and it could be pretty severe this year.
Well, our basement was
Have to watch out.
designed with a place to hide, and if I never show up for work one day, because y'all know the only way I won't show up is if the house collapses. I'll be like the
Wicked witch. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wizard of
Your
Oz.
feet will be sticking out.
The house is on me. You know, my sister hadn't been the same since that house fell on her. But if I don't show up at work, it's because the house fell on me. But be cautious. If you hear tornado warnings, take to safety. You know, because you really don't know. And they said, truly, mobile homes, your chance of survival is very slim. Very slim.
Probably so. Hey, for all of our Jewish friends out there, tonight starts Passover at sundown.
It does.
Good week for them, and for us too as well.
It
and
is.
Good Friday this Friday, and Easter Sunday coming up.
Now, you went to the big church. I was in the big church in Jasper yesterday. You were in the big church. Talk about it.
It wasn't quite as big as Woodstock First Baptist. I went to Charles Stanley's place at First Baptist Atlanta yesterday morning. Had a great time.
Now, you just said something that was really stupid. First Baptist Atlanta is not as big
No.
as First Baptist Woodstock. Now,
No.
y'all, I don't know if you remember this, but
even
Woodstock was
close.
a pine thicket.
Yeah.
You know, Woodstock was just a pine thicket. So how did that happen?
I don't know, but you can go into Woodstock down there and sit in amongst about 7,000 or 8,000 people just like that, easy.
That is so
And of course,
weird.
down at First Baptist Atlanta, it's not near that big, but it's big. And
Where is First Baptist Atlanta?
Well, you go down to 285 East, and you get off at Chamblee-Dunwoody Road.
Okay.
And then as soon as you get off, you go over the bridge, hang a quick right, and you're on North Peachtree, and it's just down there about a mile on the left.
Right, right.
It's in
Which
the
is
old
near where my
Avon.
Aunt Nyla lived.
It's in
yeah.
the old Avon building.
Oh, yeah.
But,
oh, my gosh. It is a big
it's
church.
huge, it's a
Yeah.
huge place. But yeah, they have 2 services on Sunday, 1 in the evening, and they have 2 on Wednesday night as well. And there's something going on there all the time. But Dr. Stanley preached yesterday, and the choir was just tremendous.
He's on television here on ETC. I can't remember
He's
what
on
channel.
Worldwide.
I've seen him. Yeah, I've
World-
seen
He
him.
has been for years. I
Well-
think he's been a pastor there for right at about 40 years.
Guess where I went Saturday, too?
Where's that?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I don't venture to Atlanta much, but we went down to where I lived, where I went to high school. The house that we lived on North Morningside still has the azaleas I put out. Angela, let's see, 40 years ago. She was 11 months old when these azaleas were put out. I'm here to tell you they're still beautiful and healthy. They weren't in bloom yesterday.
Somebody's pruned them over the years.
Yeah. I was amazed. And this is a
Good.
house that had the front porch. And for all you ladies who remember, we used to get on our hands and knees and wax the floors. Well, I used Aero Wax. And we had, our
remember
front
that.
porch had tile floors. And I had this cool idea that I could wax the tile. Well, when the moisture hit the tile, you
Skating
hit
rink.
the floor. So it worked well. And if you had people coming to visit you didn't want to get there, they couldn't get up your porch. So it was pretty slick.
Hey, you know what movie's going to be on all week long? You can
What?
watch it just about anywhere you want.
What?
The 10 Commandments.
Oh, love that movie.
Oh, I do too. I
Is
watched the
that
whole
a
thing.
60-year-old movie? Yeah.
I think it was done in the late 50s, I
Uh-huh.
believe.
Wow.
50,
So
might even
50-year-old
be 55.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the mid to late
That
50s.
is an awesome movie.
Charlton Heston.
I started to say, who is the man who is the
good
hunk
stuff.
who starred in that? Yeah.
And you know, the woman that played Lily Munster, Yvonne DiCarlo, played his wife in that
Oh,
movie.
yeah. I remember she was
She was
gorgeous.
a hottie,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't believe he said the word
She
hottie.
was.
It's
Good
too
looking
funny.
woman.
Well, I've got a couple of get wells. Get well, Jason Bowles, he is in Kennestone Hospital with pneumonia. Young man who goes to the Burnt Mountain Center, and I'm sure all his friends at Burnt Mountain Center would send him a great big hello today and get well soon. And to my Facebook friend, Cherie Southern, you get well. He just got home from the hospital. He's been in the hospital with pneumonia. So there's something about, what is it with this pneumonia right now? So
I don't
many
know.
people are facing this.
And it's been hard to shake, too. I've known people that's gotten sick. They just can't hardly shake it. They've had it for months, it seems
Right.
like, just some kind of congestion.
Right. Well, what I had Friday, and I still have it today, and I'm being cautious about being around people, but yeah, we ain't gonna be hugging and kissing today, I'll tell you that.
Do we ever?
I've been fine because, no, we do not.
Hey, you can eat one of these to make you feel better.
I have been, I don't think I'm contagious, but I was cautious about it. But this gland is way, way down from where it was, and this one is almost back to normal. So I'm feeling better. Throat's still a little bit sore, but nothing like it was.
You know
So-
something else that's going on this week?
What?
And you parents with little tykes need to listen up. Easter egg hunts and passion plays.
Everywhere.
Easter egg
Yeah.
hunts and passion play.
Yeah.
When I went to Homer, Georgia last weekend, they got a sign. You know, most, like Jasper has home of marble and all that, and LJ has home of the apple festival.
Home of the biggest Easter egg hunt.
Homer says home of the biggest Easter egg hunt.
I saw that. Was it 50,000 eggs?
I don't know,
I
but
believe they said
it's
50,000 eggs
huge.
they'll hunt. And I'm going to make a suggestion. I've talked to some people today. There are a lot of children in the DFACS program. There are a lot of children in foster care that probably haven't had really good Easters in their life. And yesterday, or Thursday, I was talking to David White, and he said he had won some Easter baskets at the Brady Singleton Memorial. And I thought, you know, what are you going to do with those? He's going to take them to church and give them to a kid who might not have one.
That's great.
If you are shopping and you notice a good buy in an Easter basket, take it by DFACS.
I always
Take it by and
loved-
help give some kids a little something they may not have had in the past.
I don't know about you when they had it back in ancient days, but I always loved the Easter egg baskets.
What did
didn't
he
you?
just say? Ancient days. Let me tell you
Did y'all
something.
have Easter
Let me tell you-
baskets
Let me
back
tell you
then?
something. I'll tell y'all like I told my kids about Santa Claus. When you believe, you receive. That's the deal. So my kids at 17 years old would get a pair of Adidas tennis shoes with Easter egg grass in it and candy in it. I wouldn't go the Easter basket routine, but I would buy them new tennis shoes and I would fill it full of grass and goodies and candy and maybe a $5 bill or something like that, because when your kids start growing up, it's sad.
Mine still want Easter baskets. They
Well,
really do.
that's
And they're,
good.
they're
That's
big
good.
as I am.
That's
so.
good. That's good. All right, let's.
$5 bills. I need to come to your house.
That was in the olden days. Today they'd give 50 cents. That was before the Depression hit.
They'd have to pay you to get an Easter basket.
Yeah,
Is what it is.
yeah, but do something for somebody
Now
else.
today, let's what? Let's talk about
Today we are going to show programs from a while back. And I started with the program.
black and white.
Yeah, black and white, orange and yellow. I started with a program with Angela on it because, you know, she looked really, really healthy this time last year, and Hans didn't. This is kind of reversed. Hans is doing really good. He just got a clean bill of health. Angela's battling, and she was at Joe's service yesterday looking good. She's trying to, let me tell you what she's doing to gain weight, and this is a hoot. She's drinking Cokes. Well, I haven't had a real Coke in 35 years. She's drinking real Cokes to try to gain some weight. And maybe that will work, but she just, everything she was doing, she was losing, so she was down to like a -2, which means a -2, she's going to disappear the next round. But I looked at this program, and this program may freeze on us a little bit, but this is Angela long before diagnosis of cancer. This is probably the time she had it, but she didn't know it. And this is the time of year we all get busy working on the Relay for Life. And what set the tone for today is I've had a lot of calls with people saying, we really appreciate the time you put into Relay for Life. Will you help us again? Will Angela be an honorary so-and-so? Will this happen? Will this happen? And I thought, truly, a year ago today, there was no reason for my child to be involved in the Relay for Life other than to support family members. And today, there's a big reason, because she is battling the one cancer that quite often is hard to kick, cervical cancer and breast cancer. For you ladies who may have been diagnosed with this and are not aware of it, there's a program through your hospital and through your health department for emergency Medicaid. One of the big problems facing this is all of a sudden your medical bills go from this to this. And Angela has seen that. And we found out last week that there is a great program. I don't know where the funding's coming from, because according to the government, we have no money. No, we must have money. They voted themselves a raise.
Don't get started on that again.
Okay, let's don't talk about that. But we did find out there is emergency Medicaid money, 2 kinds of cancer, cervical and breast cancer. So I was happy to find that out, and she's now going to try to, apply for all that. Her Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance is $551 a month. Now, for a single woman who's been out of work 5 months, that's pretty tough to handle.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible.
That's about the word I was looking
Impossible.
for. Yeah. So today we want to talk about awareness. We want to make you aware of that program, because that is a program we didn't know existed till last week. It's a program available to women who have been diagnosed with cervical cancer or breast cancer. So not all cancers qualify, but that one does. We're going to go first to Angela and I as we open up the set on the 27th. This is actually the 27th of March last year. Hans called us that day. We talked to him. He was still in Texas. We talked about his cookbook sales. And I have some of his T-shirts at my office. I didn't bring them with me today, but I'm going to give away 5 of Hans' shirts today, because today we are still battling, still bringing you awareness of cancer. Our friend Hans looks like he has kicked that bucket out of his life. It is amazing. This is 4 or 5 years clean bill of health after last year's big scare when it was really a tough time. This weekend, a year later, he laid his father to rest. It was one of those things. The town turned out, the community turned out. Heck, North Georgia turned out. We had people from Cobb County at the service, so it was a great day for the Ruffert family. And I'm going to ask each and every one of you to do something for me. If you would send Brenda Ruffert a card, I know what it's like when you go home, and I know what it's like when you're alone, and I know what it's like that first 2 weeks. I know what it's like that first 2 months. I know what it's like that first 2 years. I know what it's like when all of a sudden nobody's there for you. And I made a commitment to Brenda that we would not let that happen to her. So you can send her a card, care of the Woodbridge Inn at 44 Chambers Street, Jasper, Georgia, 30143. Everybody's intentions are great, but everybody has a life of their own. And one day, she will need you. One day, she will need a phone call. One day, she'll need a card. She'll need just a little pick-me-up, or one day, she'll need to be alone. And that was the one thing I would tell people, no, I just want to be alone. I didn't really mean it, for goodness sake, you know, but you feel like you're a burden to folks, you know, and you feel like, well, they've got better things to do, or they have a family, or they have a life, and we can't let her down right now.
I guess it could all be overwhelming at times, too.
Oh, yeah.
But you need it, I mean.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, just lunch. Just go have lunch with somebody. Just do some little something. Doesn't take a big deal, doesn't take a big to-do. Just a little something. And as a widow who survived that first 2 years, it was pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Can be some lonely times, I bet.
Yeah. So be sure, and Brenda's address, once again, is 44 Chambers Street, Jasper, Georgia, care of the Woodbridge Inn. Now, right now, we're going to go to, this DVD is 1 year ago exactly. It freezes up. It's got some problems, but I want you to see, Angela looked great. It was before this diagnosis, and then we're going to let you hear a little bit of Hans' phone conversation. This is a time this young man was fighting for his life. We're gonna do that, and then we're going to hear Angela do some birthdays, because there was a birthday in memory of somebody, and just a special day. That was a good Friday. It was a positive Friday. It was a pumped up Friday. But I will warn you, the DVD froze on me. So if it freezes, welcome to the technology of today,
You're
2010.
giving them a warning ahead of time.
There you go. We'll be back in just a second. I'm celebrating racing. I'm celebrating the fact that I've spent the biggest part of my life rooting for number 3. Number 3. See that? That is not number 24. That is not number 18. That was number 3. The day he left here, my life sort of changed. I never found a driver that took his place. His young son, number 88, has done a good job, and I really, really like him. But nobody could take his daddy's place. He was the intimidator. He was the best. And the first thing we're going to do today is ask a trivia question. And you may not know the answer to this.
Probably not.
Number 3 was 7-time champion. There was one other race driver who was 7-time champion. He drove a very, very bright blue car, actually in the 60s when you were, and we're going to talk about this today. See this color blue? No. He drove that color car. When you were born, do you know you are almost the same age as the Talladega racetrack? This year...
No, I'm not, because it's going to be 40.
It's going to be 40. Guess what you're going to be this year? 40.
No. 29.
No. I realized that last night when I was looking at the things about the Talladega track, and I said, it was born the same year you were.
No.
Can you believe that?
No, because
it's been revamped, it's been resurfaced, it's been redone. Have you had any work done?
No, but I sure do wish I had.
No.
After 40, it's fix. So
after 40, it falls out, spreads out, and gives out.
I'm ready for the fixer-upper.
Now, Talladega is the track that people love to see the wrecks, and they're always saying, when's the big one going to happen?
Yeah.
Talladega kind of brought racing full circle because the Alabama gang, being the dominant force in racing in the 60s, they had to have their own track. And Talladega is world famous. It is world renowned. 160,000 people race. We are going to give away a Logan Ruffin shirt. It's an autographed shirt. Hold that shirt up, Ange.
He's the cutest little fella.
He is smart. He is together. He is with it, and he is racing NASCAR.
And he signed
The answer is Richard Petty. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt are the only 2 drivers to ever win 7 championships. I don't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah.
I don't even see that man you like doing it.
I don't know now.
No, wait. Let me tell y'all.
He's a very good driver.
I don't care. Somebody's going to send him to the house.
No.
Max Jones brought us M&Ms on Monday.
He won last week, by the way.
He won. Well, we do have a winner on the contest.
Gene Thomas.
Gene Thomas.
And he signed this. So
he did autograph this shirt, and you take care of it. We talk about drivers that you're not sure what they're going to do. Joey Logano stepped up to number 20 and took over the Home Depot car. He was great when he was in the other car series.
Yeah, he's not doing so good now.
No. And I bet you Home Depot's money is going,
rut-roll.
What was I thinking, you know?
Yeah, I think he needs more seat time.
I don't know that seat time is going to do it. I think
he's too nervous,
I think the
and
edge is
he's in there
gone.
with the big boys now, and he needed a little bit more time to get maybe the mental maturity to go there.
Well, and I'm thinking Home Depot stock wasn't doing very well. Their sales aren't doing very well. There's no building and construction going on. I'm thinking Home Depot's saying, Tony Stewart, what'd you leave us for?
Right.
So Tony Stewart being one of the young guns, that young, mouthy kind of crowd, I love them. You know, they've got some guts about them. They started in...
They have no fear.
No. They started in dirt track go-karts. Most of them did. They moved up, and just like Logan Ruffin, he is now racing a circuit that includes Nashville, Kansas City, not the ARCA racing, but the one before that. And it's, you know, he is a 14-year-old kid who sat here and talked to us about the ratio of your tires to your oil to your yada, yada,
And
yada.
they know my driver, Kyle Busch.
They do know Kyle Busch.
I was very happy to meet Logan because that got me one step closer. They say you're 7 degrees to everybody, so that was my step closer to Kyle through Logan.
Well, racing is a different world today because the sponsors pretty much control things. But with 160,000 fans in the seats, somebody has to be making money. And right now, we still have 18 NASCAR teams with no sponsors. Now, that is very strange. And that kind of tells you what kind of shape the world is in. Because
But if you look at the seats, they haven't all been filled either.
Really?
At the races,
Well, 160,000 people attend a race every weekend. And out of 160,000 people, you'd think there's some money being made. So I'm a little bit, you know, I don't think NASCAR has been hurt as much as a lot of other things have. I think people are going to stick to it. I want to show this.
I don't know, though. It's so expensive to
It
go.
is expensive.
A ticket, I mean, I want to go to Talladega so bad. But it's
very
so
pricey.
expensive.
Yeah. Well, this car I have had since 1998. This is the 50-year anniversary of NASCAR. This is the Elvis Presley limited edition #2 by Rusty Wallace. Now, Rusty Wallace is one of those guys, good guy. He was a good guy.
If Bill was here, he'd do a little Elvis impression.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. But these cars are one of the things that NASCAR fans spend their money on. And I'm not going to admit what I spent on this car, but I will tell you, I thought about doing a really special contest and giving it away.
No,
I
keep it.
can't. I know what I paid for it. It is crazy, but this is what NASCAR fans do with their money. I did this purely because I love Elvis, and purely because, are we going to get a close-up of that? Purely because, okay. Could you see Elvis's face? Could you see why I paid this crazy price for this thing? Okay, Angela looked great. She is beginning to get that look again, and I'm so glad because she, you know, everybody knows for 4 or 5 months, she had it really, really tough. But she's beginning to get this look again, and I hope soon we'll see her like she was there.
Takes after you. She likes to talk.
Yes, she does. Okay, you wrote us some questions because I do have some Hans Rupert shirts I'm going to bring in tomorrow. I'm going to give away these shirts. This is Cancer Awareness Time of Year. This is Relay for Life Time of Year. This is the Breast Cancer Walk Time of Year. This is the time of year we are all reminded, we all know somebody who is facing, has faced, or will face cancer. We had no idea last year that my child would be one of those people. Now, these are questions with 60s rock. Who sang the song? This is for a Hans Rupert t-shirt that I'll bring in tomorrow. I'll bring them in tomorrow. Who sang the song Crimson and Clover? And oh, I got to tell y'all this. This is when I was in the 8th grade this song came out. 8th grade, long time ago. Last night, I get on my friend Shirley's Facebook account in Florida. Now, I lived here, Shirley lived here, and Billy Pope lived over here. For some dumb reason, I thought Billy Pope died. Well, you know how in the 8th grade you have these crushes. Ain't nothing but a crush. And you get over it real quick. Well, I get on Facebook, and Billy Pope has sent Shirley a message, and I'm thinking, I thought Billy Pope was dead. Well, no, he wasn't. But it's funny how your paths go different ways, and you never cross paths again. There's a reason. The picture of him on Facebook, he's drinking a beer. He wouldn't fit in my lifestyles. It was so funny, because I thought, Lord, I can't believe he died so young. I don't know why I thought he died, but you know, you just get these things in your head.
Most people you went to school with probably not still
have
around.
been dead, yeah. I knew he was going to do that. Speaking of, on the obits yesterday, more people in their 40s were dead than in their 70s. Now that's a sign of our times.
Because they're eating bad, that's why.
That's a sign of our times.
Grab you an apple.
But it was, yeah, except those are cardboard, y'all.
They are? I just want to eat one in just a minute.
Yeah, they are, dummy.
Ugh.
But anyway, so get on Facebook and see who you can reconnect with. That was funny because when I saw him, I thought, that's not what he used to look like. What are you doing? Oh, Lord, gosh. But anyway, get on Facebook and reconnect with some of your friends. Right now, if you know who sang the song, Crimson and Clover, call us at 866-939.
Crimson and Clover.
2329, yeah. And it is a group. I'll tell you that, it's a group. And
Well,
you're
it's a
going to
guy
win.
in a group. It's a group,
Yeah. You're going to win Hans Rupert t-shirt. I'm going to bring in 5 tomorrow. We're going to give them away. I still want people to be aware his cookbooks are still available. He is operating the Woodbridge Inn. You can pick up a cookbook there. For Easter Sunday, you better make reservations. Right now, we're going to go to a telephone interview we did with Hans as he was in Houston this time last year. Rain,
Let it rain.
rain.
Here it is.
Do y'all hear that? Do you think they can hear what we hear?
Yesterday, I could hear it on
It
TV.
is very loud.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
we're welcoming a man who, do you ever have to work out of
We've got a
this?
phone call.
We have a phone call. Wait a minute. We
Yes.
have another ETC employee who wants to talk to us.
Yes.
And I hope we can hear him because of the noise.
The rain.
Let's see. Can you put Hans through to us?
I can barely hear you.
Okay, we can barely hear you too. I hope folks can hear you out there. How are you doing and what does it feel to be at home?
It's amazing to be at home. I mean, I've still got to do the infusions and things, but man, the comfort level is night and day. To actually be in my own little recliner and doing. We already did my infusion this morning. I got to do another one tonight. So we got a routine going, and the kids are excited for me to be home, and of course I'm excited to be with them. So
Hans, I'm concerned about germs.
Yes.
Okay, we talked about this before you came home. What about the children coming home from school every day?
yeah,
Do you wipe and sanitize and kind of get them prepared for this?
there you go. We put them outside in the yard and hose them down before
Yeah.
they come in.
Yeah.
Now they're real good about washing hands. In fact, we've always done that routine with them. When they first thing they do when they get home from school is wash up real good, and we're just all being extra diligent about clean hands. And like I said, Amy's been she's been my nurse and been doing my infusions, and we've got the alcohol wipes and the whole deal. So I think we've got a system down pretty good. We just got to stay home as much as possible. I'll go stir crazy, so I'll sneak out a few times, but but yeah, main thing is just being sanitary and being clean about everything.
Well, you have got to take care of yourself. So there's no choice, you know. You can't say, well, I'll have so-and-so over. You can't do that.
No, I know,
You've got
yeah.
to remain in a sterile environment. And you know me, I'm going to preach, I'm going to fuss. Sunshine, it took a lot to get you where you are.
Can we come and talk to you from the yard?
No, I don't even want to do that. I don't want to be that close.
People will be looking in your window, hey, Hans.
No, we want you to remain safe and secure. Now, how many weeks do we need this quarantine to stay in effect?
Well, technically it's just sort of semi-quarantine, and I think it sort of wanes off as we go.
Okay.
So, I think especially the first couple weeks are going to be important. That everything's great, and then I still have 4.5 weeks of these infusions. Now, when I'm actually doing the hookup, that I definitely have to be in a sterile environment when I'm making the change and hooking over.
Right.
But anyway, like I said, I think it's going to improve as we go. It's the farther away we get from the actual infection, the better. So.
Okay, how are your headaches going?
I had a pretty bad headache this morning, but they seem to be manageable. I mean, it's there's definitely still a lot of pressure on the brain, and I think I explained to you before that the swelling doesn't necessarily go down that quickly, because there's a healthy fluid that kind of comes in and takes place of the infection, but you still have the pressure then from that extra stuff that's in there. So. But I mean, overall, we're doing a lot better. The flight back was kind of tough. I mean, anytime you fly, you get the pressure in your head anyway.
Oh, man.
That was kind of amplified for me.
Did you wear a mask when you flew just to keep yourself from breathing in anything?
No, I didn't, and probably should have. What I need is one of those big gerbil bubbles. I could be the boy in the bubble.
Well, it is so important. You have come so far. You've come a long way, baby.
I really have. I mean, we talked about it before. I mean, the first few days when we were there, we were literally told no one survives this.
Right.
And then to go from that place, which was a very dark place, to now them being, telling me that we're looking at a 100% cure rate with this type of infection. Now,
Amazing.
The trick is I have to go back to Houston 2 more times, probably once in 4 weeks and then again in probably 6 to 8 weeks, because they want to do that procedure again where they go in and sort of cauterize that what they call fistula, which is basically a hole in the esophagus.
Right.
And they still believe that is the source of infection. So we're not looking at cancer at this point. No one's ruling it out yet, but they're not assuming that it is, which is great. But we're still looking at a cancer-related scenario here, because obviously the cancer is what caused the stomach problems, and then the radiation and chemotherapy is what caused the hole, and the hole is what caused the infection. So it's kind of like we talked about it before. It's like an episode of House. It's like this perfect scenario of things going wrong. And the first assumption was that it came from my heart. So I had to do all these EKGs, and we had to do an endoscopy with an EKG to rule out the heart. But luckily, all that came back clean. So it has nothing to do with the heart. The heart's healthy. But they thought that there might be a leaky valve in there that would allow that bacteria to pass through there. Now that's been ruled out. So the strong assumption that it's this hole in my stomach, and so that's what they're working to fix.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about other general health. Have you been able to eat? Have you been able to gain any weight? Okay, that was our friend Hans. As he'd been to Houston all week, he came home, and things, 1 year later, clean bill of health. Things are going great. Now, the next interview we're going to share with you, this is Cancer Awareness Day. When you pull up next to me at a red light and you look on my car, I have a pink ribbon on my car. I have a picture of me, Freddie, Angela, and Charlene in pink and black in honor of Aunt Betty, who is facing breast cancer. Every single one of us knows somebody who is facing some type of cancer. We had Dr. Vince on, talking general things, general women's health, and he talked about a certain virus that is now preventable with a shot. Now, have your daughters had this shot?
Yes, they have.
Okay. I didn't know about this shot. My daughter was diagnosed with cervical cancer because we did not know in her lifetime. How long has this shot been available? I think Dr. Vince is going to tell us, but it's relatively new.
Yeah, a couple, 3 years or 4 years.
And they said Angela's cancer was very, very aggressive, that had it not been diagnosed when it was, her life expectancy was 6 months or less. This is a cancer that is preventable 99.9% of the time with a shot.
They say it is.
Yeah, and this shot there's been some controversy, there have been some questions, there have been some answers. People weren't sure about this shot. After having a child who has been diagnosed with cervical cancer, I'm sure about the shot. I'd get the shot, I'd give the shot, I'd make sure my kids have the shot, I'd want my grandkids to have the shot. Get the shot.
Well, the doctors, they all feel good about what it can do, so.
Yeah, and that's the whole key.
Hard to argue with it.
The cervical cancer is one of those things, if this thing can stop it, okay, give me the shot. We're going to go to this interview with Dr. Vince Molinari. He is OBGYN over at Piedmont Mountainside. He has been Angela's doctor through beginning to end of her diagnosis and treatment. He is a wonderfully kind man. I think he made what she heard doable. Y'all saw the moment I found out my child had cancer. We were sitting on this set. She found out on Wednesday night. I had had a procedure done that day on my face, and she knew I was very upset about that. So instead of calling me Wednesday night and saying, Mom, it's positive, I have cancer, she kept it to herself. Thursday she wouldn't tell me because she knew I was still worried about mine. She kept it to herself. Don't do that. We were sitting here on this set when I said, did you get your test results back? And she said, yeah. And I said, what were they? And she said, Mama can't discuss it right now. I knew, and I'm like, you're kidding me. That's not a diagnosis we expected. She was young. We thought she was healthy. The shot could have made a difference. The shot could have made a difference. And when Dr. Vince had been on the show talking about it, it was too late for us to get that shot. So, ladies, talk to your doctors. Talk to your OBGYN. Sit him down and nail him and tell him what is best for me and find out what is best for you. Right now, we're going to go to his interview. He is from Piedmont Mountainside in Jasper. He's a very kind, very good guy who will take the time to sit down and talk to you. There are many doctors like that in our area. The one thing I love about these doctors is you're going to see them at a restaurant somewhere, and they know if you're not happy, you're going to let them know it. So, sit down and talk to your doctors, and I think you will enjoy this opportunity to hear Dr. Vince as he shared some things with us last year.
I'm Dr. Vincent Molinari.
And I'm going to tell you what they did to you last time. You don't know about this, but last time, did you see your interview last time when they put Dr. Richard on it? Your first name was Richard, and I knew you don't have a first name, Richard. I looked and I said, that's not his name.
She said this morning, that's not what his
Today
mama
we're
calls
gonna
him.
make sure we get it right.
It's an alias.
It's an alias. Now, you started practicing how many years ago?
Oh, goodness. Let's see, came to Georgia in '81.
Where'd you come to Georgia from?
And I came to Georgia from Buffalo, where I'd spent 3.5 years
Okay.
in a lot of snow and cold.
Oh, man. Like 9 feet of snow at sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it never snowed less than 4 feet at a time.
Right.
Terrible weather.
Now, why'd you choose Georgia?
Well, actually, a friend of mine who I was in residency with came here first, and he said, "You got to come here. There's no snow, there's no scraping your windshield, there's no ice, and,
But we do have 4 seasons.
and he said there's beautiful women here,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, we agree with that.
and the salaries were much better here than they were in the Northeast.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, see, and I would have thought just the opposite.
Yeah, yeah, much
Interesting.
much different.
Now, where did your practice start in Georgia?
In Smyrna and Austell.
What hospital did you work at?
I worked at a Smyrna hospital when the Seventh-day Adventist owned it back then, and also at Cobb General.
Now, the trip to the mountains. We know, I have this thing about these mountains. I bring people here, and then they say, what have you done to make this so magical? It is a magical place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we
It
love
is a magical place. Now, why did you choose Jasper?
Well, we used to come up here before 575 was even there. And we just loved the whole area. And when I worked at Smyrna Hospital, the administrator there used to take us to Bentry about once or twice a month to play golf. And that's when I knew this is where I had to be.
Right.
Yeah, great place.
Now, how many years have you been here?
Let's see, we came here in '92, so whatever that turns out to be, 16, 17 years, something like that.
Yeah. Could you imagine leaving here?
No.
No.
No, people look at me sometimes who don't know anything about the North Georgia mountains, and they can't figure out why I'm here, and they just don't get it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's
No,
just
they
so
don't.
peaceful.
And we tell people that. Sometimes, somebody came into the shop one day in McKaysville and said, what do you do when you get bored? And I said, how could you get bored living here? You can sit on your deck, and this is one of my favorite things, sit on the deck and watch the birds, watch the squirrels, watch the animals. There's just the peace and contentment here.
Yeah.
Now, your wife's involved in the practice?
She has been the office manager for about 14 years, 12 to 14 years. She came in for a 2-week stint. I've asked her to help out one day, and she never left. And she had absolutely no experience in medical affairs or issues. And she's learned a lot. She's very person-friendly. So when we're late and delayed, because I've been at the hospital delivering or had surgery, she goes out there and takes care of patients and gets some coffee, Cokes, and
Right. And that's one of the things with an OBGYN, you know that sometimes that bad boy had to leave and go deliver a baby.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Jeez,
understand
it's,
that, you know.
yeah, it upsets the schedule.
Right. Now, do you have a
Common.
partner? What happens if you end up with 2 or 3 deliveries at one time? Do you have to change appointments? How do you do that?
It depends on the patient. We give the patients the option. You know, if I had to leave, if one of the other doctors are there, and there are 2 other doctors, Dr. Allison Ward and Dr. Jordan Rush, who has just joined us about 7 months ago. Dr. Ward has been with us about 5 years, and if patients are willing to see one of the other docs, then they just keep that appointment with the other doc, and we work them in the schedule. Otherwise, they get to choose to reschedule if they like.
Do all 3 of them do deliveries?
We all deliver.
Okay.
Sure do. Yeah.
And does that mean you still get those in the middle of the night calls?
Oh. There's just no way around it.
No, no.
Women are totally unpredictable.
Yeah, well, I went into labor at 2:22 in the morning. And at 2:22 in the morning, they said, oh, you're dilated to 6, yada, yada, yada. They called Dr. Tom Boswell. And Dr. Tom says, well, call me when she's dilated to 7 or something, I don't know. So he goes back to sleep. So then they call him back and said, well, it's coming pretty fast. Well, at 6:13 that morning, I gave birth to a 10-pound baby. Peggy Petty delivered it. The doc came in after the delivery, and I looked at him and said, where have you been? He said, well, you were quicker on the draw than you should have been, you know, but in 4 hours.
Than you should have
know.
been. Yeah. Like you had any control over it.
Yeah, but this is funny. For a month, he kept saying, now don't you be out on the road. You're going to have that baby any day. Don't you be on the road. And I looked at him and I said, well, one thing about this baby, it came when it got ready to. But I felt bad for him because they started calling him at 2:22, and then they kept calling him like every hour. And then bless his heart, she came, it was over, and he could have stayed in the bed. You know?
He would have done better with me. I had the 12-hour delivery, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I get out of bed at the first phone call, and I just
Do you?
Usually I just go to the hospital and sleep there. That way there isn't, you know, 10 phone calls, one every half hour.
And there's no such thing as a normal delivery.
After doing this, I've been doing this 31 years, and it always is like the first one. I mean, it's always just as exciting for me, and it's just so different, one person from the next.
And you know that first baby, because women really don't know. When our hip bones start cracking and splitting and making these noises, we really are not prepared. And quite often the women scream at you and say, why didn't you tell me how bad it was going to hurt? Or these who say, I never broke a sweat. Don't you want to just hit them?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Sometimes the women look at you and say, you did not prepare me for this.
Oh, I've been called lots of things at 3 o'clock in the morning.
What do you do to prepare? I had, I guess I had an epidural with one. No, a spinal, the old timey.
Right.
Now that was bad. They put you in a fetal position, stick that needle in your spine. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had the
I really
epidural.
want to do that
Yeah.
again. What's the common thing today?
Well, I think things are a lot different these days than it was when I first
Okay,
started.
I told you
back
he's
then.
a sweet guy. If you don't have a good OBGYN, find yourself one. We didn't get to the part of the interview. They're going to try to get to that. It is very important to be aware of your health, aware of the things that are happening with you, aware of the things that are going on. And quite often, you still don't know what's going on. You know, but if you see little differences, little changes, little things happening, then tell your doctor. I have some questions. And he's one of the doctors you can sit down and you can talk to and you can ask him questions. And that's important. You need to get answers.
It is important.
Now, you're on a diet because the doctor told you what?
Well, I mean, it's just the same thing he tells everybody. You need to lose weight or else.
Right.
And so, you know, I decided to do it.
Okay.
It's not
Right
really a
now,
diet.
we're going to go back to Dr. Vince, and he's going to talk about the exact thing that Angela was diagnosed with. Had we known about this shot? Yeah, absolutely we'd have had it.
Girls have the shot.
Yeah, obviously it's a personal parental decision that every parent's going to have to make, since it starts with women that are so young at age 9 and on up. But I think it's an important vaccine. It's not a cure-all or prevent-all, because it only really takes care of 4 of the viruses that cause disease out of the many, many serotypes that exist. So it's a start. And I'm sure over the next few years we'll see the drug companies come across with a vaccine that covers more and more of the different viruses that are involved.
Now, starting young, does that mean only the young have it and people our age would not have it?
Not at all. We see women of all ages up to age 85 that have been involved with the human papillomavirus. It's a real problem. It's a huge problem. It costs billions of dollars every year to treat patients with the problems that are caused by the virus.
And the virus started where?
That's a good question. It's probably been around for much longer than we know. We've identified it recently. Back in the days where we didn't know human papillomavirus existed, it probably did, and we just didn't have a name for it. But gee, it's found all over the world, and it's just a huge, huge problem. And since it's a virus that basically does not cause symptoms, nobody really knows if they have it until they get to the pap smear portion of their life and it comes up positive in the pap smear. Or it can be expressed as a wart in the genital area. There are two forms of the virus that actually cause two different forms of disease process. And if it's in the form of a wart, obviously you'll be able to see that and feel that. but when it causes cervical cancer and changes the pap smear, that's a totally different story. It's asymptomatic. Nobody knows they have it. Males transmit it. Women transmit it. Males don't really have any symptoms for the HPV virus other than possibly a genital wart.
And it's contagious.
It's extremely contagious.
Okay, it's contagious to the point that if you don't know you have it and you transfer it, is there a way you go back and find where it came from?
I think that would be an impossible task. The way our culture is today, and promiscuity sort of rules the land, actually the world. I think it would be impossible to trace it back to any one individual, and that's why it's such a problem.
Does every year when you have your female exam, does the pap smear automatically look for that, or do you have to say, I want this to be...
Automatically screens for
it's
human
automatic.
papilloma.
So
absolutely.
you would be told when you're told your results.
Right. If it's normal, that means they didn't see it.
Didn't see it.
That's right.
And is it opening the door to letting you know you have cancer? Is that one of the best ways? Does it give you a little more insight than you've had in the past?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if we find human papillomavirus in your pap smear, which causes the pap smear to be abnormal, we look at the cervix through an instrument called a colposcope, which is basically a pair of binoculars, and we take biopsies of the abnormal areas, which are then sent out, and that tells us whether you have precancerous disease, and that is treated, and that usually takes care of things about 98% of the time, the first time out. So it's a good way, it's a good marker to prevent cervical cancer.
Now, what is going to happen with ovarian cancer, one of the silent killers?
It's still a silent killer. It's a dreadful disease. It usually, by the time the usual symptoms that we hear about in terms of screening, like bloating, increasing abdominal girth, nausea, lack of appetite, by the time we've gotten to those symptoms, it's stage 3 disease already. So we always find it, most of the time, way too late.
Is there any way to look for it?
The only real way to detect what's going on with ovaries is to have a yearly exam. If something is found, an ultrasound is done. The so-called screening test, CA-125, is not a screening tool. Many women come into the office asking for the test. It's not to be considered a screening tool because there are so many different other diseases or issues in medicine that cross-react with the 125. It can be elevated in benign disease as well. So if we were to use, say, 125 as a screening tool, and it came back positive, we would be forced to look inside and do surgery and see what your ovaries look like. So if we use that as a screening tool, we'd be in the operating room 24/7 taking out ovaries left and right because of this test that is not very specific for that disease. Now, on the other hand, pardon me, if you have a pelvic mass...
We knew we would touch a nerve, and here we go. Prayer request. Tabitha Rittenberry is going in for cervical cancer surgery on Monday. She is in her late 20s or 30s. Ladies, get yourself examined. She is going in for cervical cancer. Please pray for this young lady. Pray for her doctor. Pray that everything turns out great. If caught in the early stages, great recovery. Great recovery. But it is one of those things, you have to diagnose it. You have to diagnose it. I'm so glad he was here a year ago and did that interview because we had no idea. I didn't know what cervical cancer was, and I had no idea how many people it affects.
And like I told y'all just a week or two ago, my aunt, 80 years old, just had it and had successful surgery to get rid of it.
That's
but
right. That's
80
right.
years old, 20 years old.
So please pray for Tabitha Rittenberry. And also, I want to talk a little bit for just a second about Megan Rittenberry. Megan is going to be going to MD Anderson. She is Brian's wife. She is 20-some-odd years old with a 5-year-old son. She is battling cancer. Man, what a strong family, what a strong faith, what a great young man her husband is. Please pray for Megan and know that prayers are answered. Now, right now, we're going to queue up. This is the Woodbridge Inn. We're just going to do a short little piece of this interview, and we're going to go to the part of it that we go to an old heart of the home. This is an old heart of the home with Angela, me, and Victoria, Angela's daughter. This is 3 generations of us. Out of these 3 generations, if you add the 4th generation and you add the 5th generation, my grandmother had cancer, my mother had cancer, I had cancer, my daughter has now had cancer. What are the odds of my granddaughter having cancer? Victoria is so healthy. She has always eaten right. You were talking about a lot of fruit. Victoria loves fruit. She does things right. But she is of that generation that could have this shot.
Yeah.
I would say, knowing her mother's diagnosis, she has probably, I don't know if she's
I would
had it or not,
recommend it,
but I would
yeah.
say so.
I would say
But we're
so.
going to go to, this DVD is from the Woodbridge Inn. We did a show there last year with Joe Ruford. We're going to show a tiny bit of that, and we're going to the heart of the home where Victoria, Angela and I, see, her name is Ansley Victoria Ruth Taylor. There you go.
It's all confusing. And we've had no winner on that song either.
We have not. So if
Crimson
you know
and
the
Clover.
song, who did Crimson and Clover? Y'all ought to know that his name is da-da-da and somebody.
Yeah.
So there you go. Right now, let's go to the interview, and we'll lead right into Heart of the Home with Tori, Angela, and I got a job when I left Atlanta. I was the baker here. And at that time, my last name was Baker. Well, I worked for Willie, who was a Czechoslovakian. He had gotten this, maybe as a joke for a wedding present. His mother-in-law gave him a job. She bought him the Woodbridge Inn. They opened the doors, had no idea what they were doing. They hired me to bake. I had no idea what I was doing, but together we kind of muffled through it. And I was here through 4 owners. I was here through trying times. There were some trying times, and now 30 years of success. 30 years. Joe and Brenda have been here. There's a little German flair going on here now, and there's a home time flair. You know, that's the thing. This is, when you get here, you feel like I've arrived, I'm at home, and that's the cool thing about it. Now, we know a gentleman, when he comes here, rather than staying in the lodge, where does he choose to stay?
He chooses to stay upstairs because he says it's his home away from home, and if he can't sleep in his own bed, he just soon sleep in this one.
Right. Well, when we brought Danny over for this morning show, we should have told y'all to come last night because there was a deal going on here for $50. You could have come over and spent the night and hung out, and we could have brought you here to dinner last night. There's a great menu going on, and with Valentine's Day coming on, now does Charles take you out for Valentine's Day?
He usually does. He usually does.
And I love to come here. What do I have? Flounder. Always. Always, you know.
And your spinach salad.
And my spinach salad. My spinach salad and lemon pie.
The best.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Life is short, eat dessert first. Yes. We will be having some of that dessert today. Now, Danny, have you ever been to the Woodbridge Inn before we brought you today?
First time.
Well, it is a place with such a history. Regina, how many years was it the Lenning Hotel?
My goodness, probably 40 years at least. At least, maybe
And did
even
they
longer.
have kind of a family style fare
They
then?
did, especially on Sunday. You know, especially on Sunday. I remember it as being a hotel in addition to the restaurant where we would come, and you know how back then they didn't have photography studios. Olin Mills would come here in Chattanooga, and we would come as children and have our pictures made here. You know, we'd buy a coupon or something and bring it back.
And the walls are covered with tributes to people who were here early. And there are some old photos of the building. Now, the building has not changed greatly. The outside has. Remember, it had the old, what do you call that paper? Siding. It was some kind of siding on it.
I'm too young for that.
I know it. You are the baby. Don't remind me. She reminds me of that every morning when I show up worried about my old wrinkles.
I'm not as bad as Bill.
That's right. That's right. But this has been part of Jasper history.
Yes.
I used to cross that bridge in a '66 Chevelle. Well, right now the bridge is under repair, and it's been under repair. It's actually been closed, what, about 6 months?
Yes, it's well before the Marble Festival. I think they closed it, and that was in early October, so
Right.
yeah, it's going on 6
And when I
months.
told you to meet me at the Wood Bridge, did you think, is that goofy lady, did she think I'm going to jump across that bridge?
Well, since I've got to know you, I knew to expect anything. So we just follow the smell of the restaurant.
That's right. Okay, now I want to tell you, if you haven't been to the Woodbridge Inn lately, Hans has done a great remodel. He knocked down, when you walked in, it used to be kind of tight and crowded there in the entryway. He kind of took down a wall and opened it up. So as we were sitting there 1 year ago, it was as it had been for many, many years, with great old black and white photos there of the history of Jasper, the history of the inn, different things. Today,
Have some of you in them? The
yeah,
pictures?
oh yeah, some of them old, and when I used to walk the kids to school in a horse and buggy, yeah. When you go in there today, you will see new photography from Amy, Hans' wife, from the cookbook. So it's a totally new look today. Now, right now, we're going to go to the interview. Now, remember, this is 3 generations. 5 generations of the women in my family have been affected by cancer so far, or 4 generations so far. Out of 5, we hope the next one will never be affected. Let's go to Tori, Angela, and I.
Rich chocolate cinnamon cake. Rich and good. Now, I made my first one last week, and Angela's going to go over the ingredients for you.
There are 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of butter, a 1/4 cup baking cocoa, 1 cup water, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
Now, if y'all have been tuning in to Heart of the Home, we all know I'm not much at measuring, but I have got the most precious measuring spoon that I got as a gift today from Corks and Crumbs, and Ella J, my little buddy, Lori, brought it to me. Angela, what's on there? A rooster.
Chickens, they're so cute.
They are precious. I love this. And I'm going to have to visit that shop. Now, we're going to add, we are actually measuring, aren't we? We measured today.
We don't do that.
Well, we're measuring today because this cake is pretty precise, and we need to measure this. Okay, Angela, we have combined 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. We sifted that. And now we're melting our cup of butter with our cocoa and our water. We're going to let that melt good, and then we're going to pour it over the dry ingredients, and then we're going to add our buttermilk and our cinnamon and our vanilla and our eggs.
And our soda.
Tiny bit of soda, tiny bit of salt. It's going to be ready to bake. This is a simple recipe using plain flour.
And the chocolate's already smelling so
Oh
good.
man, this chocolate smells great. This is what makes this cake rich. Butter and chocolate, kind of like a man with a 401k and a state retirement. Now,
And
that's
an
pretty
out-of-town hobby.
Oh my gosh, that's rich. That's rich. Now this is what, a 10 by 15 pan?
Sure.
It's a little bit larger than normal, and that's the size pan that this recipe requires. It's going to be in the oven for 30 minutes or until a toothpick put in comes out dry. Do not overbake it. My first one, I did overbake it, so watch it closely. Now this rich recipe for our icing is, Angela, the amount of butter is 1 cup of butter, 1 bag of 10x sugar,
1/4 cup of cocoa,
1/4 cup of cocoa.
6 tablespoons of milk, a teaspoon of vanilla,
That's it.
boil it in a saucepan.
That is it, guys, and it is so simple, and you pour it over the cake hot. Man, I think this deserves the rich and powerful. Man, it's good. These walnuts came from Harris Farm, and they're big chunks of walnuts. You can use pecans, you can use walnuts. I just happen to have a ton of walnuts we picked up out on the ground and shelled. Oh, wow.
Yummy.
Wow, yummy. Just a hint of cinnamon and a whole lot of rich chocolate. Now, what do you think of that?
I think that looks yummy enough to eat.
I
Let's
think that
dig
looks
in.
yummy. I think Doreen had a good idea. This was a great recipe, guys. Angela, I promised you this was going to be rich and hot.
Oh, Tori!
Hey.
Hey!
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Home from college.
I smelled this all the way in Atlanta, so I had to come out.
Okay, good idea. Tori, there you go, honey. The 3rd generation gets the cake. 3 generations, a great recipe. Remember, submit us your family recipes to heartoftehome@etcmail.com. See you every Thursday night, guys. Bye-bye. It's great to have you home, sweetheart.
Well, I love that kid. She is such a good kid.
Cake looked good too.
Yeah, that cake was good. That cake, the recipe was compliments of Doreen Lee, and it is on my website. That is the chocolate cinnamon cake, and if you like chocolate and you sin, that's the cake for you. Now, today, the next thing we're going to do is a young lady who touched my life a long time ago. I've known her since she was a little bitty girl, Miss Deanne Roland, and I chose a program with her singing a song on it. She's going to come this Friday. She's going to sing about, I think it's 10,000 Angels, and I thought there's something about the Easter week. We're going to have a lot of music on Friday. We're going to have, hopefully, Pastor Jimmy Lewis will be with us on Wednesday. We are beginning a week of inspiration. We're going to inspire you to help somebody you know that's fighting cancer. At the end of the week, we're going to inspire you to spend a great weekend with somebody you love, because it is Easter week, the most special week in any Christian's life.
True.
I love Deanne, and when she told me, she said, I just want to come back and do this special song about angels. I thought, well, let's feature her again today. So we have chosen a song that she did back in August of last year. I think it may be the song Crazy.
I think I was here.
Takes a lot of guts to step on stage and sing that. I'm not sure this is the one, but I think it is, because last week on Idol, now I'm not watching Idol this year much.
I'm not either.
And you're not either. I used to be an Idol addict. I think that Deanne could probably do Idol. I think she could probably nail the top 20. I don't think she'd have a problem with that. She is growing more confident with every visit she makes to us. But when she said, I really want to share this song with people, after she did Amazing Grace, and we got so many comments and so many positive things, it's the words to the song. It's not always the entertainer. Many times it's the words to the song. When Patsy Cline stepped on stage, it was whatever Patsy Cline wanted to nail, because she aced it every single time, didn't she?
She was a good singer. Yeah.
She was a great singer, and she's gone. So right now we're going to go to Miss Deanne Roland as she does a song. She did this last August, and if I'm right, I think it was her first visit. She is the age we want to encourage young women. Talk to your OBGYN. Talk to your gynecologist about things happening in your life.
Even younger.
Your teenage daughters need to be aware of your family history and the things going on in your family forever, because as us, we are now facing the 4th generation to have cancer in the females in our family. And Deanne's a wonderful young lady. She is precious. She is positive. She is upbeat. She's my buddy. And right now, we're going to go to Miss Deanne Roland as she sings. I think she's going to be singing Crazy for you. And it's way in the show. And let me tell you, let's do the other question, Bill. What's one of the other questions? Because we didn't have a winner.
Crimson and Clover.
Let me tell you, Crimson and Clover is by Tommy James and the Shondells. So now, oh no, this is too easy. This is too easy.
That was too.
Okay, since we didn't give away the T-shirt last time, and these are Hans Rupert's T-shirts, we want to please encourage you, wear these to the Relay for Life in all your areas, because he is still continuing. Every time he goes to a checkup, he always has that little thought in the back of his mind, is it cancer? Who sang the song from my favorite movie ever, Pretty Woman? Who sang the song Pretty Woman? He also died very young. He was an entertainer who died very young. Was it in a plane crash?
No.
How'd he die?
He got sick or something. He didn't
Really?
die. He just died 8-9 years ago, probably.
Okay. All right, if you can tell us who sings the song, call
Big
us
glasses.
866-939-2329.
Dark
There you go.
glasses, dark hair.
And we are now going to Miss Deanne Roland as she performed here her first time last year.
There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction, oh, beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins. Let me be empty, oh, in a wayless, and maybe we'll find some peace tonight. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. In the arms of the angel, may you find some comfort here. So tired of the straight line, ooh, and everywhere you turn, there's vultures and thieves at your back. The storm keeps on twisting. You keep on building the lies that you make up for all that you lack. It don't make no difference escaping one last time. It's easier to believe in this sweet madness, oh, this glory peace in the arms of the angel. Fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here.
We're back. Okay, I can't believe there's not a winner on this one. 866-939-2329. Who sings the song Pretty Woman? Last question winner was my buddy from McKaysville, and I'm going to be at the meal today.
She got Pretty Woman?
She got Pretty Woman. She is a pretty woman.
Roy
She is a lady
Orbison.
who gives back, gives back, gives back.
Roy.
Now, the next segment we're going to show you on a program is based on a song that I love. This young man wrote this song 21 years ago. I've been encouraging you lately to go to the nursing home. When you go to a nursing home and visit, you will see every age person in there. There are people in their 30s. There are people in their 90s. There are people who never have visitors. There are people who love to have visitors. There are people who just love to have you speak to them. I like going to the nursing home because they always say, "You're so pretty," because maybe their eyesight's not good.
They got
I don't know
cataracts or
why. I love going to the nursing home. Those are the sweetest people. Tomorrow, we will be celebrating on March the 30th the death of Freddie's young brother. He was the oldest child. This weekend, we went back down to the family's old home place in a little tiny town not far from Callaway Gardens. It's where Ronnie played as a child. And I thought about that all weekend long, what it was like for that family to remember that little boy playing in that yard. That little boy that they thought they would have forever, he died at 45, I believe, 47, somewhere around there, from cancer. Now think about that, y'all. That's a lot younger than me. That's about your age.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like us telling you goodbye. So there are so
Don't
many
do that.
families every day who face this. There are people in the nursing home who are facing all kinds of deals. You can go and spend some time with them. I want you to listen to this little bit of the interview and the song from Derek Corneliuson. He wrote this song about a lady who was in the nursing home, and she said, "When I leave here, I'm going to heaven, and I'll never have to do this stuff again." Sit back right now and enjoy a little bit of Heart of the Home with Derek Corneliuson doing Never Again. Never Again. And I said, "Why you want him to sing Never Again?" And he said, "No, it's a song. You heard this song about 20 years ago."
I had went to one of Derek's practice sessions, and he said, "I've got this song that I just wrote. I want to play it and see what you think about it." And there was a couple of people besides myself there, but I loved it. I've loved it ever since the day I heard it.
Well, basically that night we wrote a note on a piece of paper, and it said, "Sing Never Again." Now, he could have looked down there and thought, those people don't ever want me to sing again, but he knew the song, and he looked up very shocked, and he said, "How did you remember that song?" It made an impact on you, didn't it?
It sure did. And when he told me that he never recorded it in 20 years,
Right.
that floored me.
Uh-huh.
I said, put it on a CD. It's got to be recorded.
That's right. Well, today people are going to get to hear it. We're going to show a cooking excerpt from years ago. I've decided to pull out some of the old files, and we're pulling out some of the old music from 20 years ago. We're going to pull out some things from our past, and we're going to share these with you. You know, everybody has certain memories of things they loved. You loved that song. Okay, they're going to cue up Never Again. This was written about 21 or 22 years ago by Derek Cornelius, and y'all know him. He used to be with Harmony. Now he is with Glory Bound. You have an opportunity to see Glory Bound quite often. They do the White Christmas down in Canton. We were there. They did a live DVD. We were there for that. Great, great group who his child is following in Daddy's footsteps, and she just did a fundraiser in Ball Ground for Alzheimer's. Now, she's a college kid. She's just a kid or a school kid. I don't even know how old she is. I think she's in high school. But she just did a fundraiser for Alzheimer's. We can all become involved, whether it be Relay for Life, raising money for cancer awareness, Alzheimer's. I know that would mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things. Every single one of us can step up to the plate, and every single one of us can do something for somebody else. I don't care if it's go to the nursing home. I don't care if it's raise a little money, raise a little awareness for cancer, or to do something for the Alzheimer's Foundation like Derek's young daughter Bailey did. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool idea for her. Angel Spirit sang that night, and they had a good turnout and a good night. I wasn't there because we were somewhere over the river and through the woods like we are quite often. But we're going to go to, Derek came on this set and did the song. Now, not many of you had ever heard it because it was one he wrote. He did it in a practice session. Freddie saw him do it in practice several years ago. When we asked him to sing at this benefit that night, he kind of said, wow, I can't believe he didn't know that song. The new Glory Bound CD will feature this song, and you will get to buy a copy of that in the very near future. Right now, let's go to Derek Cornelius and as he sings for us.
Never again on this side of glory. Never again on this side of home. Never in this life to lose or to win.
each and every one of you has ever battled anything. Today has been a day. Please be aware of things happening with you. Please get your checkups. Please be aware of things you can do back for the community, whether it be raising money, raising awareness. Get out and become involved. I've got a couple of birthdays we want to do real quickly. Miss Ruth Bryant, 78 years old. Happy birthday from her sister Ruby. Can you find the bucket?
It's somewhere around here.
You know, our set was designed, gosh, a long time ago by Brenda Evans Designs. And I want to tell y'all, Brenda Evans is going out of business. If you are in the market for something, she is closing her doors in the next couple of weeks, 70% off, up to 70% off on a lot of her furniture. She is responsible for this set. We love this set. We've so enjoyed it. And Brenda's, she's just going to go do a little business behind her business. She's not leaving town. She's going to have a small business behind her home. So she's not leaving or going anywhere. Just going to scale back a little bit. Now, Joshua Davis, happy birthday to you from your mom, 22 years old. Happy birthday. That goes in the bucket.
22, that's a trouble age right there.
That's trouble. That's trouble. Today has been a good day of reliving the past. A year ago, we had no idea my daughter had cancer. A year ago, we thought Hans was really, really in serious trouble. This weekend, we said goodbye to his dad. It's been a year of a lot of things happening for us.
Yeah.
I lost my dear friend Carla at Abernathy.
And it's only March.
Yeah, Miss Helen Berger passed away this year. I looked at programs of people who have been with us who are no longer there. Capture the moment. Capture the memories. Spend time with your family. This weekend, we spent time taking the family down to Middle Georgia, and it meant a lot to everybody. Debbie was born in this little tiny town called Hamilton, and when Eddie described where she was born, we pulled up and found the exact spot. You know, do something that doesn't cost you a lot of money but creates memories for you for the rest of your life.
You could do like Bob Hope always saying, thanks for the memories.
That's right. That's right. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for being a good boy today. He hasn't been mean to me today. He knows I've had 0 sleep. I love you, Bill.
Maybe Thursday I'll get you.
Yeah, you will. I'll be back on it. And hopefully Charlene will be back with us on Wednesday. She gets a test tomorrow. That gallbladder's just giving her trouble. So go by the Blue Star and say hello to her. You know,
she needs an oil change.
Tomorrow is going to be the day that Matt delivers a message. It is Easter week. I can't imagine what his message will be like.
Oh, you can't imagine?
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that message will be about. But I guarantee it will be positive and it will be upbeat. It's just like Derek's song, Never Again, because our Savior did something. What did he do? He died on a cross.
But he also rose again.
He rose again. He rose again. Up from the grave he arose. Do you like that song?
I love that song.
I love that song. But yesterday we heard
The mighty triumph over his foes.
We heard a contemporary radio station butcher Low in the Gravy Lay, and I thought, hush now, so turn that channel. This is a week to reflect on what matters to us. Find somebody you love and tell them you love them. Spend time with folks that you may not even know.
Yeah.
It is time to give back. We are all here by God's grace. Give back every single chance you give. From North Georgia Now Today, I'm Cherie Martin.
And I'm Mark Martin.
He's Bill Siniard. He's Bill Siniard, Mary's boy. We will close today with something that's very special to me. Everybody can do this. Just get with your family and make some memories.
Some photographs just yesterday. A